The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters was originally broadcast on July 8th, 2025.
Welcome to Business Matters, brought to you by the Maui Chamber of Commerce. And now here's the host of your show, the president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce, Pam Tumpop. Good morning, Pam.
Hey, good morning, Gary. How are you?
Very good, very good. We got some nice light sprinkles down here this morning, so we need the rain.
Well, given the fires yesterday, or the other day, boy, I'm glad. You're right. We need the rain. We want to green everything back up.
Nice and green.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for always helping to produce our show. We so appreciate you and all that you do for us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you. Well, welcome everybody to Business Matters. I'm Pam Tumpop, president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce, and today we are going to talk to two amazing companies, both chamber members. We're going to talk with Jeff Pape of Bacon Rentals Maui and talk about the fun and challenging world of heavy equipment rentals. And there's going to be a lot of need for heavy equipment in the coming years. And then we're going to introduce you to Matias Besasso. He is the founder and CEO of Rising Sun Solar. He'll be discussing not only what his company does, but how recent changes in policy will impact the solar industry as a whole. So big changes, of course, connected with the big, beautiful bill. So we'll be talking a lot about that. But first, let me begin with Jeff Pape. He is the rental manager for Bacon Rentals, a division of Bacon Universal, right here on Maui. He has over 32 years of experience in equipment rental industry services and plays a pivotal role in using and supporting local projects, including partnerships that contribute to the community development initiatives, such as the Napili Community Bike Park and many others. Bacon Rentals has been serving Hawaii's construction industry in industrial areas as well and agricultural sectors since 1947. So good morning, Jeff, and how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing well today. A little bit tired. We were a major sponsor of the Makawa Rodeo, so been working a few days straight. It was a great event. A lot of fun. A lot of people.
Oh my gosh. I didn't get to go there, but I was at a party on Saturday night where people were raving about it. I heard it. People said they thought it was more crowded than ever before and just really had a phenomenal time.
Yeah, I think Saturday and Sunday they had close to 6,000 people a day, so it was really busy and really windy.
Oh my God!
It was a challenge to keep an easy up tent fastened to the ground when you're up in the country.
Yes, there's always that.
We were lucky. Kubota was a major supporter of it. If you went to the rodeo in the rodeo area, you saw a lot of signs because our team, I think we hung up 60 banners. So it was a great time. We also did the parade Saturday before. You might have seen a tall, bald guy on a truck waving. That was me. But we had a great time. It's parades are always fun, and
Absolutely.
they really know how to do it in Makawa. It's a great community. I love it up there. But other than that, you know, you mentioned things are rebuilding in Maui, and it's definitely that direction. There's no lull here on the mainland. I talked to people I know there that they're down for the year, but we are not. Between Lahaina and all the projects going on, it's been very busy. Bacon last year, we made the decision to separate the rental portion of our business. We're on the same property, just the building next door came available. So we got that and remodeled it, and we've invested extremely heavily into our fleet. We have a nice new fleet to take care of people. It's a good time. You mentioned the person after me is going to talk about, some of the government regulations that change. I just want to make a quick mention for our business owners that since we are in rental and Bacon Universal is the dealership side that sells equipment, rental customers that normally, or any customers that purchase equipment every year, there's some good news. I don't know all the details. I heard that if you've ever heard of IRS Section 179, it's a great deal for people that can depreciate equipment out in 1 year. And that was going to end, and it was capped at $1 million a year, and they raised it to $2.5 million a year. So it'll be a great time to invest in your company. It can really help people in their tax situations. But
good to know. Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because there's been so many changes with that bill that everybody's still working on analyzing different sections. So I appreciate you mentioning that, because you're going to have a lot of equipment and rentals going on, in the coming decade for Maui, for sure.
Yeah, and there's a lot more money's invested in infrastructure. How much comes to Hawaii, I don't know, but those were the two things I noted out of it.
Yeah.
It's a good time to be in Maui. With the rebuilding of Lahaina, which obviously is not going as fast as anyone would like, but it's important they do it the right way. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You mentioned we've been around 70 years. I mean, that's a long time for any company. We have a lot of longevity in our employees. Our longest employee on Maui retired in January, and she was here 58 years.
Wow.
So I can't imagine being a job that long.
And how long have you been in the rental business? Tell us a little bit about your history in that industry.
About 30 years. I worked for some large companies on the mainland, and when I came to Maui, I really wasn't looking to do it, but they found me. And it turns out the CEO of our company, I worked for at a different company, and I was really happy when he called me, because he's a great guy to work for. This is a very nice company. We really strive for positive attitudes, and I would rather hire somebody that's happy than someone that's really grumpy and walking around. It's just not, we like to have fun when we go to work. Our crew is awesome, and I couldn't do anything without them. It's so good. Our customers are a lot of fun too.
I think the company attitude is everything, and it really shows to the customers as well. And so it sounds like a fantastic place to work. Just out of curiosity, are you looking for people, in case anybody's listening to this and thinking, wow, that sounds like a place I might want to work?
We do have some openings. Yeah, if you look at the Bacon Universal website and go to careers, I think they're looking for a parts counter person, probably a couple other people. On the rental side, we have a pretty good crew right now. We'll be hiring probably another service person in the next 6 months, because our growth is going crazy. It's like I say, it's a good time. We did just add a generator line from Atlas Copco. We're the dealer for Maui and the whole state. So I just have some brand new shiny generators. Our first one went out to Lahaina Luna High School, where they're redoing the gym floor, and they had big sanders. They didn't have enough power, so we have a big one running out there. I was in the generator rental about 12 years ago, so that's been fun to re-engage my brain and remember all the things I've forgotten. But we also have some new trailers coming in. They're called air tow. They flatten all the way down to the ground, so there's no ramp. We're always looking for new equipment, and I try and find things that make us unique. We have a lot of aerial products for getting safely up in the air, and we're a huge, for those in the industry, JLG, largest manufacturer of move lifts and scissor lifts. They're our main line. We have some exciting new. We have some scissor lifts that are coming with no oil in them. That's getting more and more important to people, not only environmentally, but if you spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a shiny cement floor, you don't want oil dripping on them. So those things are pretty amazing. In fact, they're on the water right now. We should have them in about 2 weeks. So lots of exciting stuff happening. We keep adding new equipment. And I had one of my bosses years ago told me I have the equipment disease because I love equipment, and I still have it.
Well, I love it. So for somebody like me, I mean, I'm getting a little bit because you mentioned no oil, and you mentioned concrete floors. So when you talk about scissor-lifts, what type of equipment is that? How is that used?
So it's a platform that we probably all see them every day when we drive by a construction site, but you don't really notice it. But scissor lifts have what they call a scissor stack. You can crawl in. Our most common one is a 19-foot electric scissor lift. It's only 32 inches wide, and it will lift you up in the air 19 feet to your feet. And you can safely work on things. Then we have drivable lifts. All those, you can actually drive them at full height, which is kind of scary, thinking your feet are at 19 feet and it's only 32 inches wide. But I assure you it's very safe. They have a giant piece of steel on the bottom to weight them down. And then we go up to about 120 feet on man lifts. So we have a variety of lifts for just about anything you can think of. And my claim to fame, and when I got in the rental business, was if you're looking up in the air and scratching your head and you don't know how to get up there, you call Jeff, because I can usually figure it out.
Well, I love that because, I mean, it sounds like it could be used from everything to landscapers who need to trim tall trees to electrical work.
Yes, and we have, in fact, we have painters, you name it. I mean, and we have a new lift that is really cool. It's less than 4 feet wide. It rides on tracks, and you can drive down into even around the walkways on resorts, and you can go up 60 feet. And they're lightweight, and it's in demand. We rented one to a company up on the mountain at the telescopes up there, and they liked it so much they bought it. So I had to get more in.
So you do sales as well. It's rentals and sales.
Yes, yeah. It's a very nice marriage. We support each other. Sometimes, during COVID, it was hard to get new equipment, so they did sell out of our fleet occasionally. We try and keep our fleet an average of about 7 years, and then it comes up for sale. But I think, it's a business model that works, and we're not unique in that, but I think we do it better than anybody else. But I'm a little biased.
Let me ask you something. On these bigger pieces of equipment, can anybody rent them? Does it require a special type of operator's license to use them?
Some places require it. Some job sites require it. Thank you for mentioning that, because that's actually one of the things we do. I do training, and I give people a certification card. We can do it for forklifts of all types and for what they call aerial work platforms, which includes scissor lifts and boom lifts. So it's about a 6-hour class if you do both. And we have a very nice little training room here, and it's part in class and part hands-on. So if you have any interest in that, please get a hold of us. We do have to schedule that out a ways.
Yeah, but that's amazing. So also, I mean, I was thinking, for people who might want to paint their own home or, have that type of equipment, that would be one thing. But also that sounds like an excellent class for people who are in the industry or thinking of going in the industry and upgrade their skills.
Yeah, it's a familiarization class. It's not going to make you an expert. As with anything, you need to practice a little bit, but it gets you a good basis to get started. And a lot of companies do require it. I've just trained people for the harbor division recently. I have a class on forklifts this Friday and next Friday that are full. So it's getting busier and busier. In fact, it's almost too busy. I need to train a trainer.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're going to need a trainer. That'll be a new division of the operation just in training. That's fantastic.
Our goal is to have a trainer on each of the islands. We're on 4 islands. We have a brand new location in Kona. I mean, it's been there for years, but we moved into a bigger building, and it's beautiful. In fact, we have an open house here on the 25th
Oh my gosh! Well, some people in Kona can hear this, so let's invite them on the 25th.
There you go. We have that on the 25th, and we have a branch in Hilo. We also have a Lahui branch on Kauai and 2 on Oahu, besides Maui.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're growing. We're improving all the time. We've had some major investment, both in facilities. I mean, if you come by here, this place is beautiful. It is amazing to me what they've done just in the last year. We had our Pauhana with CIM here in, I think it was March. It was awesome to have everybody in here and see what we do and show off a little bit. Had lots of equipment out. It was a great time. And now we want to do it every year, I think. We set the bar high. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's and you had a grand opening where people could come and see and who weren't familiar with your equipment when we last spoke.
Yeah, we had, it was in conjunction with Kubota's, what they call Orange Days. Obviously, Kubota, if you don't know it, everything is orange. And if you drive around the island, you see an orange tractor or a mower with the county. That's us. We're the only Kubota dealer in Hawaii, and we like it that way. We've recently sold, or actually are renting a unit you'll see on the highways with what they call a flail mower. It's an excavator with a big grinder up on the boom and cutting trees, and there's nothing slows it down. It's an amazing piece of equipment. Probably not a homeowner unit, but we do have things that homeowners can use. It's not our main market. We do sell an amazing number of tractors. If you go in up country, there's a lot of orange up there.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, I was just going to say, I didn't realize you were the exclusive Kubota dealer, so that's fabulous. Are there other products that you have exclusivity on? Because I know, like, Kubotas are highly sought after.
Yeah, Kubota and Komatsu in our large dirt equipment, large excavators, dozers, wheel loaders. Yeah, we are the only Komatsu dealer on island, also all the islands. So yeah, we're lucky that way. In the mainland, you can drive down the highway and you'll have a Kubota dealer about every 25 miles. And we like it that you got to come to us. We really take pride. It's a great product. If you come in, you see we have on the dealership side, I think we have 4 or 5 TV screens up on the wall above the counters, always showing equipment in action. We have some great people. Ricky Fujikawa has been with us for a long time, I think 12 or 14 years. He's everybody knows Ricky. You don't want to walk around in Safeway with him. You'll be there for half an hour, just people talking to Ricky. We have Carrie over there, been an upcountry farmer for years. He's awesome. He knows farming. We just have some great people. I've got some good young people, rental salespeople here that are awesome. Jacob and Mara. Amanda's been in rental. She's our rental coordinator. I think she's been here for at least 12 years, maybe longer. She's awesome. She's the heart and blood of this place. She makes me look good.
Oh, you do have a good crew. So tell everybody, when did, I know you recently expanded, and you were just sharing again that you bought another area so that you could expand, but when did Bacon Rentals initially open in Maui?
In Maui, it was, I think it was actually 56 years ago. They bought a company that was here, and the person I mentioned that was here for 58 years, she was working there, and she just came over with it. So it's been a while. We definitely expanded our emphasis on rental in the last 2 years. A lot of companies have a dealership and they'll have a rental added on. We wanted it to be a major effort. It's a good business, and particularly with the tragedy that we had here, and we want to be a bigger part of rebuilding Maui because it's a huge thing. And you mentioned, somebody mentioned in the intro, the mountain bike park out in Napili. it's the first one on island, and we've mentioned it to Kubota, and they got involved, and they helped us out getting equipment out there. And it's quite the operation. If you get a chance, look it up on the internet. It's not always open, but it's free. Something for young people to do in West Maui. It's awesome, and they have big jumps, and it's fun to just go watch them ride.
Yeah,
it was
that was in the Pele Community Bike Park.
Yeah, that one.
Yep. Yeah, I want to encourage everybody to go check it out, the Pele Community Bike Park, and we love those kinds of outdoor activities that our community can greatly enjoy. So it's lovely that you were participating and helping with that, because those are treasured assets for years to come, and great places for young and old to have fun.
Very much so, yeah. Great people did it. All volunteers. They worked hard. I don't know how they did it. They're a lot younger than me. But we were honored to donate the equipment for it. And it's if you look at a couple of people that have it online, videos, I think Crank Cycles, and there's a few of them. But it's a really neat operation, and I'm amazed at all the little kids that really go fast. They're crazy. They'll just fly off and go to the air and land and keep pedaling.
Our daredevils. Well, I hope they're wearing helmets.
I think it's required. At least I hope so.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, my brother's a huge biker and does crazy things on the mainland, crazy tricks, and thankfully he wears a helmet, and thankfully at his age he can still do it and never stops, which is phenomenal. Tell us a little bit. You mentioned, that you do have some competition, but that your Bacon Rentals is very different than some of the other service providers. Tell us a little bit about what makes you different, and some of the other equipment rental some of the other equipment rentals companies on Maui.
Well, we actually have some great competitors. There's nobody on island that, we kind of pride not having an adversarial relationship. Competition makes the world go around. We will even, if we don't have it, we know who to call. And we have others that refer to us. Sometimes companies, when things get really busy, we'll re-rent to each other just to help keep our customers working. That's not real common in a lot of industries, but we have some of the people are my friends, and I never have to worry about them not being ethical. That's I'm an old school guy. I'm kind of a handshake guy, even though we don't live in that world anymore. We still have to get signatures, but I like it when we have relationships that are that way. We're one of the largest dirt rental companies, for lack of a better name. We have a very large fleet of excavators and mini excavators. That's probably one of the most common things that get rented out. But there are other companies that really don't go very large. They'll stop at a certain size, and then we have the big boys. If you drove into our front yard, we have a giant Komatsu called a PC490. That thing is huge. I think it weighs 80,000 pounds, somewhere in there. It will dig a lot of dirt. Not everybody has that.
I was going to say, what is that used for? Given that weight, that sounds like a lot of dirt.
Well, they had a few digging out where they're relocating the ash up country.
Yeah.
They can dig very large holes in a very short amount of time. We have a lot of equipment now we're bringing in that's specializing in grinding up brush, because there's a lot of work creating fire breaks now for obvious reasons. And that's going to continue, because that's not a job that stops. It's every year.
So, Jeff, can you please let everybody know, for everybody who are just tuning in now, we've been speaking with Jeff Pape, who is the rental manager for Bacon Rentals, talking about all things heavy-duty rental equipment to just everyday rental equipment, which is awesome, and really serving many different arenas. So, Jeff, tell everybody where they can visit you at Bacon Rentals and learn more.
Okay, well, we are in Wailuku. We're at 800 Alua Street, about one block off of Lower Main. Our phone number is 808-900-9888, and that goes to a central service that for all your rental needs. And you can rent on island here or anywhere in the Hawaiian Islands. So
fantastic.
It's an all-around number.
Oh, that's great. Well, I really appreciate that we were able to spend some time and that you shared so many different things, and I just love knowing about some of the areas that you've had some exclusivity and products that are available. And I really want to encourage everybody, go visit Bacon Rentals, check it out. It's exciting to see all that they have. And learn more about the products and how they can benefit your business. And again, we also appreciate, Jeff, the tremendous support that Bacon Rentals is doing in the community, not only with the Napili Park, but also with, serving and sponsoring the rodeo and all the great efforts there this past weekend. I know it was a lot, and thank you for that tremendous service and help to make sure that longstanding community event lived on.
Well, thank you for the time to share a little bit about our companies.
It's my great pleasure. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Aloha. Okay, so our next guest is coming on shortly. He is Matias Besasso, founder and CEO of Rising Sun Solar. He was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Matias came to Maui in 1994, chasing his longtime dream of surfing Hawaiian waves. That led him from architecture school to the trades. After becoming a licensed journeyman electrician in 1998, and a contractor by 2006, Matias pivoted towards solar energy, motivated by his field of experience, as well as a commitment to protecting Hawaii's pristine environment, which is something that's always been really important to him. In 2003, he founded Rising Sun Solar, which has since grown into one of the state's most recognized solar installation companies, with more than 10,000 systems deployed across the islands and hundreds of kama'aina employed over the years. Matias, are you on with us this morning?
I sure am, Pam. Good morning.
Oh, aloha. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Same here. I hope you can hear me well.
We can. This is fantastic. I've been having computer issues this morning, so I'm reading my script and my notes from my small little iPhone. And Matias is calling in. You're using Facebook, is that right?
I tried, but it didn't work. So this is the landline, and hopefully it'll work.
Okay. Well, we're going to go for it, everybody. Small technical difficulties, but we're making it work. So, Matias, I'm so thrilled to have you on this show. Can you
Likewise,
tell us a little bit more about why you started installing solar panels for a living, given where you were trained and what you were motivated to do in the beginning and your passion for solar panels today?
Well, Pam, you started with a little intro about me and where I came from and what brought me to the islands. And, you kind of answered the question already. I was in the trades. I was wiring homes. I was wiring buildings. I was quite busy doing electrical contracting. And I met someone who was actually the co-founder of Rising Sun, Brad Albert. He had come from California. And he was telling me about, putting solar panels on people's homes and having the Maui electric meter go backwards. And I thought, he was joking. He was a prankster. This is back in the early 2000s. The word photovoltaic was, Mandarin for most people or not a known word. So it sparked my interest. I found out more about it, and I said, look, I know the county folks. I know the Maui Electric folks. I work with electricity already with homeowners and business owners. Let's get this solar panel that makes the meter go backwards a try. And that's basically what got us going. But, Pam, you have to remember there was no market back then for solar. Solar was, reserved for off-grid communities or remote locations. Solar wasn't mainstream. So, although it sparked my interest and I wanted to build a career out of it, we had to kind of make the market. So that's what got me started. My passion for what I was doing and turning it into something more positive, for Maui, for our environment, for Hawaii.
Well, and you folks, yes, we're really tremendous industry leaders at this, and I know the chamber recognized you way back when, as you guys were getting started. You were leading in this realm, and we laughed when we found out. Oh my gosh, we've gone way back. So, talk a little bit about some of those amazing steps that helped jettison you forward over the last 20 years.
Well, Pam, we were kids, I do remember 2010, you gave us our award on behalf of the SBA, Business Person of the Year for Maui County, my partner and I, Brad. So this is surprisingly, almost 15 years ago now. And yeah, like I was saying, there was no market. We had to educate the consumer base. And, people were catching on quite quick. But we had kind of not the establishment against us, but people didn't make energy at their homes with solar panels. People purchased energy from Maui Electric. That was, how you bought your energy. So, the initial years, and this lasted quite some time, we kept on pushing on the thresholds that the utility would establish as to how many solar systems they can take on. If you remember, right. I don't know, 15 years ago, everyone applying to get solar may not get approved. Right. The circuit may be saturated, as they would say, or we can't take any more solar. So, for the first 10, 15 years, Pam, the industry was kind of running on fumes, and we were doing the best that we can to work alongside with status quo. But we reached critical mass in I would say in the 2013 to 2015 timeframe. We hit critical mass, and lots of companies were putting solar everywhere up until the net metering law ended in October of 2015. If you know what that is, the net metering law.
Yes, but tell people who might not be familiar with it on the show about the net metering law.
Well, Pam, it used to be, now everyone is used to batteries and they're prolific and everyone considers them normal. We had no batteries back then. Again, those were reserved for off-grid communities, for remote locations. Our battery, Pam, was the grid, the Maui Electric grid. Maui Electric and all HEI utilities across the state had a program by which all the excess generation that you would have at home, say everyone went to work and, the solar system was cranking, all that energy that wasn't used at home was being exported to the grid on a one-to-one retail exchange. So I would push 1 kilowatt hour out, or 2 or 10 or 100 during the daytime. And then at night I would come and I would borrow from the credits I had put in the grid. And at the end of the month, I would hopefully have, $18, $20 Maui Electric bill, because Maui Electric allowed us under net metering to push our excess solar production onto the grid. That stopped in October of 2015, like I said, Pam, and it really shifted the market dynamics because we kind of had to reinvent ourselves and become solar and battery folks, which is, what we do now.
Right. And now people can they can maintain their own backup source with the batteries. Tell people a little bit about the batteries and how that's working with that shift.
You're absolutely right, Pam. Your questions are very much on point. In 2015, as we transitioned to this new technology, incorporating batteries, it is true that we lost some of the economic benefits of being able to export our excess energy to the grid, but we gained a tremendous benefit, which is to have backup. And we struggled with this a lot during our early years because folks thought, well, I have solar panels, so when the power goes out, I'll have power because the sun is shining. And that wasn't the case, Pam. If you didn't have batteries, even though the sun could have been shining, you didn't have backup. You couldn't survive a power outage or make it through a power outage. So when we started installing batteries in 16, 17, and, till today, we have provided homeowners and business owners with the resiliency of a backup system. So, we're prone to hurricanes. We have a long hurricane season. We've been lucky, at least since I've been on this island for 30 plus years, and we've been spared many times. But lots of storms come through and our power grid gets knocked down. We have trees, we have all kinds of things that can get in the way of power being stable. So the folks who have solar and batteries, when the power goes out, sometimes they won't even notice it, Pam, and they will just ride through an outage or a brownout. And when the power is restored, they would automatically go back to being fed by the grid. So batteries have brought a tremendous advantage to homes and businesses in terms of resiliency. We saw this a lot when the Lahaina fires happened a couple of years ago, Pam, where, communities were severed from grid supply and we were powering them up with solar and batteries. Yeah. So batteries have improved our industry and our utilization of solar energy since we've incorporated them.
I remember in the early days, the batteries were extremely expensive, but they've now come down in price.
You're leading me like a pig to its pen, I feel, because the questions that I'm answering are leading us to the issues that we face today. Yes, Pam. At the beginning, the batteries were very expensive. They were not as reliable as they are now. They didn't have the subsidies that we later on got that made the industry fly again, and prices would come down as a function of demand. So yeah, they were very expensive. They became cheaper and more reliable, and we had subsidies for them up until now.
Yes. Okay. So let's. Yeah. I when you said a pig to its pen, I'm thinking, oh, we're talking slaughter. But yes, in the way we kind of are. I'm so sorry. You and I have talked about this, and of course, many people in the industry know about this. But in Hawaii, we have these tremendous energy goals, and we have been on top. In fact, we've been leading the nation in our solar, with our solar independence that has helped in tremendously with our energy goals. But now there have been significant impacts on the solar industry in of course, what the president was calling the one big beautiful bill. But there is an area of that big beautiful bill, that one big beautiful bill that passed, that hampers what we're trying to do with our solar energy goals. So, Matias, tell us a little bit about how that's going to really impact your company specifically, but also the industry.
For context, Pam, you're absolutely right. Hawaii continues to be one of the fastest growing states in the nation in terms of renewable adoption. Hawaii leads the charge by far in what's called battery adoption. Every solar system that we install has a battery, which is not the case in the mainland. Hawaii, fortunately, has had for the longest time the renewable energy technology investment tax credit, the RETIC, we call it in the industry. So, we've return investment or IRR, ROI on solar systems in Hawaii has been very rich, subsidy-based coupled with high utility rates. But, without taking a political stance, or I'm quite neutral in this comment, I'm just going to state some facts. Our current administration recently passed a bill, the One Beautiful Bill Act, supported by Congress and signed into law by the president. And what it does, in summary, Pam, is it ends the solar tax credit on a federal level, not the state one, for self-purchased residential systems at the end of this year. So anyone in Hawaii who wanted to get solar and wanted to tap into the federal tax credit, which is the biggest single subsidy driving this industry and has been for over 2 decades, that tax credit will expire at the end of the year, at the end of 2025. There was a House version of the bill. There was a Senate version of the bill. There was a lot of back and forth. And what ended up making to our president's signature is one where, like I said, the residential credit expires at the end of this year. Some of the credits remain up until 2027, and those are going to be dedicated for either commercial systems, on commercial buildings, or what's called third-party owned systems, leases, power purchase agreements, setups whereby, the user of the energy, Pam, doesn't own the system. The system is owned by a third party, an investor, a fund, an investment group. The owners, they own it, they operate it, and they sell the energy at a discount to the user. So that portion of the industry is going to see the light of day to last for a few more years because those were spared in this bill. But like I said earlier, for the folks who are used to selling solar systems to homeowners that they buy them with cash or loans or whatever it may be, that business, that opportunity ends at the end of this year. how is that affecting, our industry, our business, in an extremely impactful way. Pam, we understand that every president in the United States has a duty to its constituents, and we're trying to make this country the best it can be, and cure the deficit in some other things. So I understand that from time to time policies need to change, and we will adapt for the greater good. I guess that the comment or the issue that we're having at the industry level in this change is that it's too abrupt for an industry that is going really fast and continues to grow and employ people and deploy renewable energy systems. For this to end abruptly at the end of this year is just no time to plan, no time to react. So we're all scrambling, Pam. We're all trying to figure out how to pivot, maybe sell leases to continue installing solar systems, maybe go back to electrical contracting because there's a lot of work in that field. But in summary, Pam, the business as we've known it for well over a decade is about to shift dramatically. And is it right? Is it wrong? I can't really put judgment on it. The audience could judge, given their own, views on things. But from a literal fact, from a business owner in this industry, this is going to force a major pivot on us. And, I'm optimistic. We've gone through lots of ups and downs, COVID and, utility restrictions and you name it, Pam, and we've always survived. This perhaps is one of the most challenging ones. But, hey, we got inertia. I'm an immigrant. I came to this island with nothing really, a surfboard and a backpack 31 years ago. So, in difficult times, that's when we get creative. That's when ingenuity rules, and we find a way out. So that's my outlook. But those are the facts, ma'am.
Well, I want to say, and I love, and you've always been this way. You're very optimistic. You look forward. You continue to plan. You're always thinking about how to make improvements and stay on the cutting edge. And I love that you're doing that. One of our deepest concerns, and you pointed out the time crunch, is with this significant policy change, we're going to be rebuilding for the next decade. People are starting to rebuild their homes. Many in Lahaina would love to have solar. And and many people over the last decade have used this federal tax credit to really help finance it, to make it something that maybe would be untouchable otherwise possible. And to know at a time when we've got massive rebuilding and we're looking at how to not only help all those in Lahaina, but in Maui County, help people find attainable and affordable houses. And we say attainable and affordable because some people's view of affordable is not really attainable. So we're now using both descriptive words. This is something that pushes us further out and is gonna increase the cost of getting solar, and it's going to maybe make many people who would have otherwise had solar, have to pass or wait years down the road till they can afford it again after rebuilding.
You touch a very sensitive nerve because fortunately and finally, after 2 years of the very devastating event for the Maui community, we, Rising Sun, as well as others, are starting to participate in the rebuild efforts in Lahaina. We currently have about 15 homes under contract, rebuilds. These homes are going to be exactly the homes that existed there before, just renovated with materials, but basically the same homes for the same people, right? And lots of these homes actually had solar under net metering, before the fires. Fortunately, Maui Electric has grandfathered in every single one of these homeowners, and they're able to access the program again, and they're able to build the system that they had, right? And these are all great positive news. However, we're pushed against the timeline because lots of these homes, if not most of these homes, will not be finished by the end of the year. So the homes will get rebuilt, which is godsend for folks who have been in limbo for a couple of years. Their solar systems could be built in a similar time frame. They could go back to what they used to have, basically. But if we cannot place the system in service, that means turn it on, have inspections done by the end of the year, these folks are going to miss out on the federal credit. Fortunately, our state has protected for another year the state tax credit, which does provide some relief and subsidy for the investment, but it's not the main driving subsidy, Pam, because tax brackets in the state are much lower than federal tax brackets. Yeah, you touched a sensitive point. The irony of we're finally getting back to rebuilding Lahaina, including solar, and now some, if not most, of these homeowners are going to take the hit of this, recent decision and removal of the tax credit. So, it's actually just sad irony, Pam.
It really is, and again, we with our wildfires, we're coming up close to 2 years now, and so here we go. But the thing is, with the wildfires, that we've seen so much devastation across the nation as well, with all sorts of things, from hurricanes to tornadoes, other wildfires. They're all going to be in the same boat. This is going to impact many. I really feel like maybe there's room on this for an exemption for those who are rebuilding with the wildfires or with whatever disasters they've occurred. And maybe that's an avenue where we can bring some of this back. It's certainly something we're looking into.
Well, Pam, as you know, you've made miracles for me personally and for our business and for our, folks. So whenever you come up with these noble ideas and want to get behind them, I'm a believer. I'm a skeptic believer because I know how governments work. And exceptions are hard to come by. but
yes, I understand. We've been through this, and we've seen this a lot, you and I.
yes, we have. Case in point, I think you bring up a great point, Pam. These folks shouldn't be subject to further impact. They've been through enough. As you were talking, I was thinking about, one of the issues we had during the fire was power supply. Perhaps it should have been cut off earlier. Power supply was an issue, perhaps a culprit for some of the fires. To have a solar system at your home and batteries creates that independence and that resiliency, whereby if there's a possibility for a fire caused by, falling down electrical lines, you could shut off the system and rely on these distributed systems. So we're not just making clean energy and giving folks energy independence. We're providing a huge component of resiliency to a very fragile energy ecosystem, Pam. We take energy for granted. We drive by the power poles. We see the smokestacks in Malaya or Kauli Harbor. But, all that fuel comes from overseas. It does not get made here. So making energy in the local way, in a distributed fashion, provides a huge base of safety for the state. So we should be looking at programs or means by which our industry doesn't stop in Hawaii. We were just dealt a semi-deathly blow, but I'm with you, through education, through lobbying, through talking to our constituents, we can make more miracles happen and continue doing solar in Hawaii for the reasons I mentioned.
Absolutely. No, it's critically important. And I sat on the Hawaii 2050 Sustainability Plan development for 3 years. And it was an amazing plan that wasn't supposed to sit on the shelf. And it dovetailed what we were trying to do with Hawaii's energy goals. And again, we are one of the best places in the nation with our sunshine to generate solar energy. So this is a big step backwards. Again, in terms of deployment to systems for people who would be struggling to afford them when it's such a help if they can. Matias, I'm so sorry. We're running a little over. Tell everybody quickly how they can reach you.
www.residencesolar.com. That's our website. 808-870-5727 is my number. Thank you so much for having us today, Pam.
Thank you so much, Matias, for being on. I hope everybody connects. If you're thinking of solar, talk to Matias at Rising Sun Solar today. Get a jump start. Even if you can't maybe do it this year, explore with him some of the options and learn more. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us today at Business Matters. Please join us again next Tuesday right here on KAOI. Blessings and aloha. Ahui ho.